Welcome back to another Behind the Groove podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington. And today we are, I don't even know if this is going to be a review, but we're going to talk about the latest and greatest Matrix movie, Resurrection. Dude, listen. Listen, man. I don't know. I'm totally into the Matrix. 1, 2, and 3. Totally into it. Right.
I bought the DVDs, man. I was gonna buy the Blu-rays when I get a chance to get them. I'm gonna buy them.
That is a movie that will become a cult classic. And then Warner Brothers, your favorite production house.
Warner Brothers can't stop taking L's, man.
So here you have The Matrix. It was released on HBO Max and in the theaters, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The VP who made that decision got fired or demoted because they blew a bunch of movies up that could have made more money if they were in the theaters.
Man, I was so looking forward to The Matrix, and I was so absolutely, utterly disappointed with this movie.
I was on the fence. And the reason being is
on the fence, meaning you liked it or maybe not?
No. I hated this movie, but I was on the fence about whether or not I would be looking forward to it. And the reason being is because the way Revolutions ended, it ended with Neo being plugged back to the Matrix, being blind. He's all messed up, lost his eyesight, and he got plugged back to the Matrix. And according to Revolutions, the Matrix will restart. And they do the whole cycle again, but this time they allow people to be free if they wanted to. And then Trinity died. She did not get out of that ship and walk back home or whatever. She died in that ship. She got impaled. She had the spike thing went through her, like 2 of them.
Yeah, that's
true.
It
went right through her. So she died on the ship.
She's in witness protection now. Her new name is Tiffany.
That was silly that you brought her back. You didn't need to, it didn't make any sense. Because there was no Trinity in the previous versions of the Matrix. So it's not like she hung around and there's the new Trinity born, whatever. This is the last version, 7, was the first version of the Matrix that had Neo to realize what he was doing and try and do a revolution against them. All the other Neos looked at the door and said, right, plug me back in. All right, peace out, everybody. And this is the first one that was like, nah, we're going to fight. That's the very first time. It wasn't Trinity that caused that. It was Neo saying, yeah, we're out. We're going to leave this thing. We're going to fight it. We're going to take our chances. So they basically rewrote everything that they've done in the previous movies in this movie out of spite and possibly to make a check. I don't know. I have no idea what the reasons were. And I can't be mad at it because it's the creators of the movie. So this is what they decided it is right now. It is what it is, but
they did a lot of dumb stuff with this movie. Like an example is, okay, so when the first Matrix came out, I was under no assumption that the Matrix was a video game.
Yeah, they.
What's up with that? Was it a video game or wasn't it a video game?
No, it wasn't a video game. It was
exactly.
Everyone's plugged in simulation.
Yeah,
but I think that the first hour dragged on too long and it was trying to be too meta. Like they're too much in the, hey, look at this, wink, wink, wink. This is what we're doing right now.
Right. Like it's just like
too much. It's on the nose.
This was a bad, really super bad recreation of a metaverse, right?
Yeah,
this is a video game. It's just like, oh, it's a video. Oh, he's a video game developer. Oh, wait a minute. The Matrix is a video. We're going to bring the Matrix back online because it was originally a video game. Man, this was 2.5 hours. A terrible movie. 2.5 hours, right? The only good, I'm going to give you 2 good things about this movie. Mm-hmm. And when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, okay, this may be interesting. The first thing is I thought that they were setting up the next Matrix with these new stars. Remember, they have a new Morpheus.
Yeah, You thought
And
there's gonna be like a reboot?
but with some, with some different stars. I mean, remember, these people are like, I mean, the old Matrix characters, man, these people are like old, they're feeble, they fought a lot, they go to bed at 3 p.m.,
Yeah.
I mean, look at Niobe, man. She's like, dude, like
100 years old.
Let me give you your Metamucix or something. Give us some fiber and call it a day.
Here's the thing for me, right?
Some warm milk.
I just watched John Wick, so like it's not like Keanu couldn't do the fight scenes. He absolutely could. He just did it in the John Wick movie like a year ago.
Listen, he
so
needs
it's not
to
like
change
he was
that.
like the way they did this movie was like Keanu was like he was like in a wheelchair or like some kind of walker. And he's out here like, whoa, let me stop the bullets. Whoa, let me get back into the walker. Like that's what it looked like.
The problem,
I just watched John Wick, and this guy jumped off of a building and was riding the motorcycles and horses and stuff. Swiss cheese and mofos through the whole movie. How do you go back into like put me back in the walker, coach? Like what happened here? Carrie-Anne Moss can't do that leg kick anymore. I know that.
No, come on. I mean, some of the fight scenes were like weird when the person was like running out on the side of the, just the side of the wall. It's just like, okay, it would have been cool if you said, hey, you know what? Here are the new characters of the Matrix, right? Here's the new Neo. Here's the new Niobe, right? Here's the new Trinity.
I think you're right in that regard. I don't know if you need to do the same people over, but like
you don't need to
because you're in the Matrix, so maybe have a new one or something like that.
Yeah,
like
give me a new Tiffany, give me a new Neo, give me a new Niobe. I mean, just give me new everything. The new characters around them were cool, right? It was just like, okay, now this can be the new Matrix moving forward because it's been a long time since Neo and Trinity. Well, those people are dead basically.
Yeah, I know why they did they did like a 60-year age gap, and I think that was because Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves were like, yeah, I don't have time for this right now. I'm not jumping over buildings anymore. Like let's just take it easy here.
And
so they did the 60-year age gap, so everyone looks older, but like unnecessary. I think that the story would have been better if you led with what was going on. Do you remember they had a video game? It was on like PlayStation, I think on the original Xbox too. There's a video game, and it took place during and after the events of the Matrix. And basically there was rogue programs doing stuff, and people were plugging back in the Matrix to kind of do they're finding stuff, whatever. Like you're doing things inside the Matrix, but that wasn't the world anymore as you knew it. And it kind of took elements of that, but also kind of restarted the original story of the Matrix of Neo's plugged in, you had to get him out, and then now you got to get Trinity out, and like, oh, okay, now you got to get her out too. And it's like, I don't know, like to me, it was execution and story. And it seemed like it was devoid of a good story. Yes. I'll say yes.
Yes.
I'll say it.
Yeah. It was, I don't know. Listen, Cosmic Sin with Bruce Willis.
You're going that far, that bad.
Was the worst movie I've seen probably in life next to The Godfather 3. The Matrix Resurrections. You're getting honorable mentioned here. The only reason you're not the worst is because there was some parts where the graphics, the CGI looked cool.
You could tell like they could do more things now, stuff that they always wanted to. But the problem is they put everything on the table in the first 3 movies. You've done everything you could physically do in the first 3 movies. So everything they did since seems like it seems not inspiring. It seems kind of like, we did that.
It's
like
such a disappointment.
Neil Patrick Harris was like, we did Bullet Time. Okay,
I like his character though. Neil Patrick Harris.
I hated his character.
He's serious. I like him.
I like Neil Patrick Harris. I hated his character.
His character was kind of cool, but it was also because that was a little that was an interesting sort of addition, right?
Yeah, well, it
Hmm.
was a clever thing to say like the Matrix is keeping the eye on these two, what they're doing, and there's people keeping them in line so they don't start doing stuff outside the norm.
Right.
Because you get dragged down the rabbit hole again. Like, what's the Matrix? And you start going. Then you got to get out, and then you got problems again. So like, I thought that was a cool addition, but I didn't like him in this movie. But that's the whole other argument. I think that's like a personal thing. I think his character made sense, but like everything seemed like a rehash or a retread of a
Yeah.
rehash or whatever because they did everything in the first three movies.
Yeah.
You wanted Neo flying, you did that. Battling 100 agents, you did that. You know what I'm saying? Like you've done all of these things, so
What do you?
it wasn't exciting, but like
No,
it
it wasn't
was
exciting, dude.
just a cleaner, nicer because they used film for the first movie. I think
Mhm.
the first two was shot on film, and
Mhm.
this was digital. And then you could
Digital.
just see everything's a little
Clean
crisper
as
and
crispy
just a
as.
little cleaner. The
Mhm.
special effects were just a little bit nicer, a little bit
Yeah,
extra sprinkles on
exactly.
it.
Mhm.
But it was just like if the story was better, I would have been like, y'all, like, this is great. You plug me back in. I'm ready to go. But the story just kind of felt like, eh.
Do you think that? Well, one other thing before I ask you that, like, I'm not quite sure about the new Mr. Smith. You know, I'm not quite sure about him.
Trash.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
It's
The
all
old
trash.
one was just like he had it. He just had it down.
The Hugo
Um,
Weaving guy, like, yeah, how you gonna top that dude? Like, you can't. You
you
can't do
can't
it.
you can't do it, man. They should have just like said, hey, you know what? Let's just wipe the slate clean. Let's not call it let's not call it resurrection because that means something totally different than what you showed us, right? Like here
I
you're
would.
saying, hey, this is a video game, or let's create the Matrix video game again. And speaking of video games, you were just talking about like the first two movies, Jada Pinkett Smith. I think I was reading somewhere where she didn't get a lot of money to do this movie. To do the original Matrix, right?
Yeah.
She didn't want a lot of money up front. She wanted points off of the video games that were being sold,
Oh
which was
yeah.
super
Yeah, because
smart.
they all got points. Everybody
Right.
got points off the Matrix movie. So
She
Lawrence
wanted
and everybody,
money from the
they're eating
video
good.
game sales. She was like, just give me $50. I'll just take my points on a video game, right?
Yeah.
Because
No,
the
the
video
three of
game
them,
sold out.
Lawrence Fishburne and Carrie Ann Moss and Keanu, they're eating very well off of the points they made off the original Matrix.
Yeah.
They're doing pretty good.
So is this supposed to come back in some way, shape, or form? Because I hope not.
I don't think so. I don't because
Is
this
this
thing
it
was
for the
such a
Matrix?
bomb.
Uh-huh.
This is the end of the Matrix right now. This is how bad they've done. What they should have done was do like a digital repressing of the movie, the
Hmm.
original movie. Maybe add a couple extra scenes or some three new 3D effects, and resell that. I would have bought that. This
I'm
I didn't want this.
I'm telling you, man, when you have these like little cult classics like The Matrix, like
Mhm,
even Altered Carbon, they came out
mhm.
with the original show, and then they came out with like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes animated movie.
Yeah, they did the anime. Yeah,
Right. So
they
imagine
should have
if
did
you,
an anime.
I was about to say, imagine if you took the Matrix with all the technology, all the bubbling up of technology, animation, the whole
Yeah.
nine. If you took
Well,
that, made it into a series, an animated series, man,
yes.
you could just,
Because
and
I mean, they
you know,
technically did an anime already, but they did I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it was Animatrix or something like that. They did an
really?
anime. Yeah, they broke down the story about how the machines got invented and how they took over.
Where is that?
It is,
I want to check that out tonight. Where is it?
I think it's I think it's Animatrix. I think it's what it's called.
Is it
They
like
had
on Netflix or something?
it should be on HBO. It should be.
Okay,
I'm not
Animatrix.
sure.
It's a video game now. It's like, how silly is that? When it was like, hey, let's recreate the video game Matrix,
Why
and
make it
then
obvious like that? This is just too
and then
meta.
Trinity is like, was that me in the video game? And here's the other really silly thing, right? So
Mhm.
you had all of the new, Matrix cast members, and then they came out into the streets, and like the entire population was against them, right?
It turned into like zombies.
Right, exactly. So now
Right.
you have like 4 or 5 people trying to get away from like 1 million people. Here's Neo and Trinity on a motorcycle. I mean, it was just so unrealistic. You know what I'm
They
saying?
tried to recreate some of this stuff, the original.
He was doing stuff like, I'm just like, really? That's what he's doing now? It's just like, dude, we can't get out and, you start doing a wave.
Yeah, force field Neo, that was getting tiring. Like, he didn't fight back. He was just blocking everything. Like, I don't want to see that.
This was a terrible movie, dude.
Matrix 2 Neo took the battle to them. All right. I like that. I like that. I didn't. It's too. The force field is silly, and then Trinity's flying now. Like, it was too much. I didn't like it. I didn't like my experience. Some people did, and if you watched the movie and you liked it, that's cool. I did not. But it doesn't take away from what I thought about the first 3 movies. I still love them.
Yeah.
And when I watch them again, I'm still gonna enjoy them the same way. This
all day.
This was trash.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy the first 3 movies. Matrix Resurrection was a complete disaster. Not quite sure why you would ruin such an iconic franchise like the Matrix with this garbage that you put up, because you're just like, hey, let's put something up. Let's put it on, HBO Max, which is also a terrible platform in terms of just the UI, UX. And let's also put it in the theaters. They knew they weren't going to make like crazy money on the theaters, because once people checked it out and then the reviews started popping off on YouTube, it was over. I'm going to say this. Mm-hmm. If it is in a theater near you, don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. Try to get like a 7-day trial of HBO Max and check it out.
I don't think you have to. People didn't watch it. It lost a ton of money in the theaters. Nobody went to see it this weekend.
Terrible movie,
did not
dude.
Do well. It didn't do well.
Complete waste of, man. I wasted. I'm not even going to play 2.5 hours. I was there watching the movie, and I'm just like, I'm into the new Matrix people, the younger Matrix people. Mm. I'm not really into, Niobe.
That they're old and washed up. They're sloppy.
I told you, man, they're feeble, they're old, they fought a lot, and they go to bed at 3 p.m. I mean, it's just that simple, dude.
Metamucil down in the IO.
Exactly. It's just like, come on. No, this is not how it should happen. I'm surprised Jada Pinkett Smith was like, yes, you can make me up to look completely feeble.
Yeah, well, she's not doing anything. She's just ruining Will Smith's life. So she's got nothing else to do. Like, you know what? I got time for a movie. We sabotage my husband real quick. I got time for a movie. Like,
are we even gonna rate this movie, man, or what?
No, don't do that.
No,
do not insult yourself and rate this movie.
No, I'm just gonna say this movie, Matrix Resurrection, was a complete thumb nosing to the Matrix franchise. They totally.
Yes.
They didn't screw up the franchise, but they screwed up by adding this to the franchise.
Mm-hmm. I think the changes they made that kind of paint themselves in the corner was deliberate. Because there's, if you can see, the Lana and Lana were talking about the movie, and they had choice words about what people thought of their movie and the philosophies of their movie. Mm-hmm. And so they did a lot of things to kind of stick an eye into the people who thought certain things about the movie. Mm-hmm. And this is what you got of it. I think it's Lana was not Lily. Lana was the one that did it. Lily's the other one. She's not involved in this project. Lana's the one that did it. She was like, "This we don't care what you think about our movie. This is what we think about our movie." And it was a terrible. You do not screw with your fans. Let that be a lesson to all directors, writers. If your fans like something of them, do not stick your finger in their eye just to spite them. You want everybody happy with your project, and everybody who can watch it. Doesn't matter what the politics, whatever. Everybody wants to watch it. They all got money. They all spend money on projects too. So, be as neutral as possible and do your thing. You can put your message out there if you want to, but do not do something deliberately to insult your people who watch your stuff.
Okay, so check it out. We're not. This is not even a review. We're just talking about how much.
I'm venting my frustration
exactly,
about what they did to
just
the franchise.
like how much, or
I feel like the Godfather.
do,
like, look what you did to my
Godfather
boy here.
3, exactly. This is like the Godfather 3 Matrix Resurrections type style of movie.
I don't know.
It's a complete mess. I mean, like Warner Brothers, you got to do better than Adam series. This, yeah, I did not enjoy this. I wasted 2.5 hours of my precious time watching this movie. I wanted to watch it because I am a huge Matrix fan. But this was a complete disappointment.
The directors, I'm rooting for them. I like their stuff. Like, they hired my cousin she was in Speed Racer, so kudos to them. I like them. I like the stuff they do. They try to take risks with movies.
They better come correct then.
This was a slip on a banana peel that was unnecessary.
They better.
I am rooting for them. I hope that they come out with the next project that's really good. I'm rooting for them. That's all I'm going to say. Right?
Matrix Resurrections, complete and utter disaster. Well, there you have it, folks. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.